What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, and today we have a very different kind of video for the channel. We are joined by none other than Sean Clark, who is kind of a jack of all horror trades, I would say. You have a lot of irons and a lot of different fires, so if you want to tell everybody exactly who you are.
A lot of horror irons and a lot of horror fires.
Yeah, sounds horrifying.
Yeah, horrifying. I guess I run a company called Convention All Stars where I manage celebrities for personal appearances like conventions and stuff. I have a production company called Well Films, done a lot of the behind the scenes bonus feature stuff for Scream Factory releases and a few other companies. I host a show called Horror's Hallowed Grounds where I go to filming locations. You see my mug on a bunch of horror documentaries and stuff like that, you know. What else do I do? I don't even remember. I have a podcast with Christopher Nelson called The Thing with Two Heads. It's on our YouTube channel. Malfunction is the channel. And I've always kind of been just, in this world. And it all started from a mask company that I started way back in 1996, I think. So that's how it all started. It just led me on this path. So
it feels really like full circle to me because I am a mask collector, and as someone that literally somehow makes a living collecting stuff, not to kiss your ass too much, but like you as a collector is how I know you and how I've gotten to know you over social media, I guess, and super, super inspiring just to think that you're like living the horror dream, from what I can tell. So
yeah, I've gotten really lucky. I've dumb lucked into a lot of good situations. That one thing, starting with the mask company I used to have called Silver Champagne Novelties, which was a play on Silver Shamrock Novelties, obviously. That opened all these doors to go into different directions within the genre, and specifically Halloween franchise. It's funny that I got involved in the franchise legitimately from bootlegging the franchise.
Yeah.
But then again, the same could be said for like Justin Mabry, one of the owners of Trick or Treat Studios.
Yeah.
We were all fucking pirates back in the day. So
yeah, it's a very, very weird, a weird niche thing that we're in. So, but that actually segues us into today's video because for those of the viewers that don't know, you actually own more than one screen-used Myers mask from the Halloween franchise. So,
I do.
What ones do you have? You have 5?
I have a Part 5. I have a H2O copy that is a Part 6 that was in H2O. It's the one where he cuts the nurse's throat in the living room. So it's a Part 6 mask, but it was in H2O. And then I have a Cam BH2O that's from the movie mold. And then I have a production-made H2O Winston that was never used on screen, but it was made for the film. It was one of only, I think, 3 or 4. And then I have a production-made Resurrection that wasn't used on screen. And then I do own a 2018 and a Kills mask that Chris made me personally. One was a Christmas present, one was a birthday present. So, but they weren't made for the movie, but they're made by the guy from the molds. So that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that's super rad. And you have a real 75 Kirk, yeah?
I do, yes.
Yeah, that's so cool. All right, so I thought, being that you are the person that I know with the most screen-used, real mold, whatever, Myers, it would be interesting to get your take on the film's masks themselves in a sense of ranking them, but I think the easiest way to do this would be to literally rank each one individually, 1 through 10. And we're not going to count any weird oddballs like the blonde pink Part 4 or whatever. This will just be...
We do the CGI one?
Yeah, we got it. We have to have... Yeah. I don't know how you would even rank that. Is that really a mask? Like, I don't know.
No.
Okay, so... Yeah, I just will 1 through 10 it. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on each one.
I'm ranking them 1 to 10, mask by mask.
Yep.
Okay, that's easier.
Little.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a pen and paper here ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we are super ready for this. So yeah, Halloween 1, Nick Castle.
I think you can just go part 1 and 2 10s. I mean, come on.
Totally agree.
I mean, that is the mask. They both have their own unique look on the different actors. You know, Nick Castle and Dick Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny is, you know, everybody loves the classic Nick Castle look, but there was something to that round head that Dick Warlock had.
Yeah.
It just looks. It's got a rounder shape on Dick's head.
Yeah. If I had to choose between the two, I'm definitely going 2 because it's so much sinister, like more sinister.
Yeah.
The way it fit, the V.
Plus it had less hair. It seemed like it had lost hair.
Yeah.
It just looks more. I don't know.
It's dirtier.
Like Myers got stung by a bee or something.
Who are you picking out of the two then? Are you going Warlock?
Which one am I gonna? I gotta go part 1.
Oh man! Woo!
I gotta go part 1. So I would go a 10 for part 1, a 9.5 for part 2.
Fair enough.
I love both, but
absolutely.
You know, technically it's the same mask. It's supposed to be the same mask on 2 different guys. So.
Yeah, it is funny how much different it looks. I mean, maybe not to the untrained eye, but to people like us, it's quite the drastic difference there.
Well, what cracks me up is the casual Halloween fans.
Yeah.
When you try to explain this stuff to them, and they go, "Oh, what? They changed the masks?" It's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
You thought it was the same mask in every movie?
Yeah.
Well, I never noticed. Like,
my favorite of the casual fan comments is, "Did you know that it's a William Shatner mask?" Yes, everyone knows that by now. Yes, everyone knows.
Yeah.
All right. Well, probably safe to skip part 3, and we'll jump straight into 4. And there's a love-hate relationship with this mask over most of them, I feel, because the film is so classic and nostalgic that even though it's really not great in a lot of ways, I feel like it still is to people. So, yeah. What do you think of?
I would love to see somebody, like, when they do those, like, deep fakes, I would love to see somebody deep fake a fucking part 1 or 2 mask on the part 4 Myers.
Yeah.
I think it would make the movie feel totally different. And, you know, because that, to me, that was the thing that killed it. I mean, I remember I'll never forget, I went to the Highway 39 drive-in on Beach Boulevard and saw it the night that movie came out. Me and my buddy Kenny went. I was already driving by then because it was 1988 and I was 17. And it was on a double feature with Hellraiser 2, by the way. And I just remember when that mask popped up on screen, I was like, what the fuck is that? I mean, because you see that poster and you're like, look at that art. That's the mask.
Yeah.
This is not the mask on that poster. It was so disappointing.
I wonder if they realized that too, and that's why they went with that art, or if the art was already pre crappy mask.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
That is a good question.
Because it really does feel like false advertising if you think about it.
No, totally. Yeah, I don't know who would know the answer to that. But it, yeah, and the fact that, no offense, because George Wilbur's a nice guy, but he's like, I think he might be my least favorite Myers of all time.
Yeah.
He's so stiff. And the fact that he, you know, if you can tell the scenes where Tom Morga is Myers, he doesn't have, because he didn't wear shoulder pads or anything, and Morga wore pads, and Morga looks like this all the time. And, you know, like that scene in the living room when he gets out of the chair and he sticks Kathleen Kinmont against the wall, that's clearly Tom Morga.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he looks slim, he looks right, you know.
Yeah.
Wilbur just looked bad. Same with in part 6, he looked overweight. And then you see the scenes with A. Michael Lerner, he looks great in the costume.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
But anyway, we're not ranking Myers here, we're ranking masks.
That's another video.
So, part 4 on a 1 to 10, I'm giving that mask a 5.5.
Fair enough. There are certain shots of that. This is what gets me, is that it looks great at certain parts, like the gun kill. When he turns around and the blue lighting is hitting him and it's real, like, underlit, it looks fantastic. And then 10 minutes down the road, he's about to get hit by a car, and it looks atrocious. Just terrible. And the shoulder pads bother me more than the mask.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's like when he's coming after her on the roof, and he's just like,
yeah,
the knife. You know, it just looks. It looks so unnatural. I don't know why they went that route, but
a lot of strange decisions with that. Well, a lot of strange decisions with all three of the Thorn trilogy things. So, number 5, the alien.
Number 5, God, you know, it's terrible, that mask, but it's grown on me over the years. It's grown on me, and I almost like it more than the Part 4 mask, just for the simple fact that it like the Part 4 mask it's just so badly done. Like, I mean, it's like they had the chance to get the right look and they blew it. I don't know. I probably can't rank it higher than the Part 4 mask, even though I hate that mask too. I'd have to go with, on that one, I gotta go with I'll go a little lower, just go a 5 on Part 5.
This makes me wonder 2 things. One, does a Michael Myers mask have to be a Shatner face to be good?
No, but you have to at least go in that direction. You need to try to go for something of that style, but it doesn't have to be Shatner's face. I mean, you know, there's certain masks, you know, like I really like, Justin Mabry's mask that he did, like his original one, The Butcher.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people really like it. It's got a really angry kind of features to it, and it has a different vibe. I would have loved to have seen a mask like that used in a Halloween movie, maybe for the Rob Zombie ones or something. Mm-hmm. It has a cool look, so it doesn't have to be Shatner's face. But they definitely missed the mark on Part 5. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, it's funny too, because how do you? I mean, going back to '78. You find a Shatner mask, you spray paint it, and you rip some of the hair off, and all of a sudden you have this perfect mask. It's probably as close to as perfect as you could get for something like that. I can't think of a better mask. And then you bring in all these special effects companies to have stuff made for the next films, and you, like, how do you miss? Because I collect a lot of Slipknot stuff, and it's the same. Every album, more money, like, worse product. Great ideas, poor execution. I don't understand how or why that works. That seems to be the case in a lot of areas. I just don't understand.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, I think there was definitely something going on legally around this time to where they didn't want to go back to the Shatner look. So I think they were purposely trying to not make it look like that one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, well, the mask on the poster kind of looks like a Shatner.
Yeah.
So, but then again, maybe you can get away with artwork versus, the sculpture, recasting it or whatever.
Yeah.
I know there was a lawsuit with Don Post, so obviously that was an issue, and there had to be something else going on there too in regards to the mask that Don Post Studios released as The Mask, which kind of looked, I mean, shit, that mask would have looked better than the Part 4 mask,
Absolutely.
Don Post The Mask,
Yeah, I had some friends over earlier today, and they're a mask company, and we were talking about, like, the weird 2004 Don Post Myers, the real cheap ones that everybody had. Buckethead, the guitarist, always has a mask on, no matter what. If he's backstage, if he's doing whatever. And his, like, fan mask when he's walking to and from the bus is one of those '04 Myers, but he just cut the mouth a little bit and messed up the hair, and it's terrifying. And I'm like, how is he scarier walking from a van to a venue in a crappy 2004 mask than these other people that are actual Michael Myers.
I don't know, man.
It's weird. So 5 for part 5.
Yeah.
All right. Part 6.
Part 6, I like this mask a lot. You know, it was getting, it was almost like I felt like they were trying to sculpt a mask that looked like the poster mask. You know, because it's got defined curves on the lips and stuff, like sharp curves. I don't know, that mask, I always liked the look of it. I mean, I don't love it, but it's of the Thorn trilogy, it's the best. So I would give the part 6 mask a 7.
Okay. Yeah. I have a love-hate relationship with that one. It looks like it was sculpted with Play-Doh to me. Like something I can't get past the thick hemorrhages, I guess, that are kind of spotty. It reminds me of like the moon texture. But I definitely do understand like the poster art thing. So yeah, I feel that for sure. And it is leaps and bounds better than the 2 previous for sure. So.
Yeah, and I also think it's one of those things where you had 2 movies of such a crappy mask. When you got one that was pretty good, you're like, yes, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here's the controversial stuff because we've got fake mask. Let's just do the K and B and the Winston. Yeah, we'll just do those 2. No CGI stuff.
Okay, so I'll start with the K and B because that was the original mask. I'd have to say this is probably of all of them my least favorite mask of any of these. I'd have to give this one like a 3. There's and that means I'm just shitting all over KMB apparently. The 2 masks they made I think are the worst. That mask, it just reminds me of like somebody going like this. I don't know. It's just got like such a like smug looking like pouty face, and I just and how perfect the hair was. It had like this perfect like fucking Guido fucking like hey what's up going on the body hey kind of fucking hair like hair sprayed back all like poofy. It just everything about it was terrible. Yeah, that one, I can't believe they shot an entire movie with that mask. It just boggles my mind that it lasted as long as it did before they realized, oh, this doesn't look so good.
Yeah, what a mess. It reminds me of like all the trendy toys that we get now, like Funko Pops and stuff.
Yeah.
Like way pre-Funko, that was that mask, so...
Yeah, it was like a cartoon version.
Yeah.
It was like very
Scooby-Doo, Michael Myers.
Very Scooby-Doo. That's a great example.
Yeah.
Very like if Scooby-Doo did a Michael Myers, it would be this mask. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go K and B.
Yeah.
All right, so the Winston.
The Winston I really liked. I thought that was the first one that was finally getting close to the look of the original. That one, I'll give that one. I'm going to give that one an 8. I really liked that one. So yeah, I'm probably ranking it a little too high, but I like that one. That mask. What ruins the movie for me is, I see it every time the mask changes. I mean, I'm looking for it. I see him coming. KMB. Oh, Winston. KMB. Winston. KMB. Winston.
Yeah.
Winston. KMB. I mean, it just keeps changing from shot to shot. It's just,
sculpturally is probably the closest to the original. But there was just such, again, still weird choices made, like the sizing. I'm not one that's like, I never want to see Michael Myers' eyes, but the way that one fit him and the amount that you could see them was just so strange. Like the weird cross-eyed stuff, like I can't stand that. But the mask itself, yeah, I would probably agree with him. Put it up there, pretty high up. All right, this one's a fun one. I have an explanation for the Resurrection mask, okay? So before I ask you this,
Mm-hmm.
with true crime and stuff being as popular as it is, and the fact that you can go buy, like, a Pogo the Clown mask now, based on this real serial killer,
Mm-hmm.
had Michael Myers been this big legend at this point, someone would have probably made a mask of him, right? To sell in stores.
Okay.
Don't you think that it would look like that if they came out with a mass-produced, real-life Michael Myers mask?
Well, I guess so.
I think that if he went to a costume shop and stole a mask of himself, we would have the Resurrection mask. That's how I've always justified that one, because I don't hate that mask.
Well, you know what? I don't hate the mask. My issue with the mask is it's so metrosexual.
It is.
It's so airbrushed perfectly, the airbrushed hairline, and the hair is all perfectly laid, and it's just, I've always referred to it as the metrosexual Michael. And it's interesting to me that they hired a mask company to make that mask for them, and they literally had them copy the H2O. You can tell that they used the Winston H2O as the model that they sculpted this one after. But then let's take this guy but make him much more handsome. It seems like that was the idea, you know. How can we make this guy look sexy? So, not a huge fan of it. Plus, I don't like the coloring of it, how it's so gray. You know, they went away from the white and went really gray with it, and I'm gonna have to go on this one. I'm gonna go a 6.
That's higher than I thought you'd rank it, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I'm only doing that because I gave 5 of 5.
Yeah.
So it's way better than part 5, so I gotta at least give it a 6.
Fair enough. All right. I feel like these ones are probably going to be pretty interesting.
Oh, so how are we gonna do the Rob Zombie one? Are we gonna do non-distressed and then distressed, or do we just do that, rank it as 1?
I feel like we should probably, well, yeah, we might as well, because it's only one film that he has 2 different real versions of the mask, I guess. Because in the second one, it's pretty much the same all the way through until it gets
It
ripped.
does get more pieces come off of it and stuff, but
let's do 2 and 2 then. We'll do the new white one that he wore as a kid, and then grown up for number 1, and then non-ripped and ripped in number 2.
That's too many.
Okay, let's do.
We'll do, yeah.
Average it out.
Huh?
Average it out for part 1, clean and dirty.
Okay. Well, I want to do them separate because I'll do clean and then distressed. So new and old. And then for part 2, we'll just do it as one mask because it's the same mask that just gets pieces torn off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more distressed than the 2007 movie, but so here's the thing. It's funny is I really like the look of the older version of the Rob Zombie mask, like when Tyler Maine's wearing it. I really like the way it looks, and I would rank that mask probably an 8. But the clean version, I don't dig that much. It looks a little too like the distressed version. You know, it has all those lines and stuff in it, but it's softer. Where the clean old, what's supposed to be the brand new version, it has really sharp lines and looks a little too chiseled.
Yeah.
I think. And for that, I don't really care for the way that looks, and I would probably drop that down at least to a. I'm gonna go 6.5 on the clean version because I do think the part 6 is better, and I gave that one a 7. But the old one that Tyler wears for most of the movie, I like that one quite a bit. I'd give that an 8.
Yeah.
That look works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for that Myers, I will say that's one thing I always said Rob got right was he made Michael scary again. Like he looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, part 2 it up then. We're sticking with part 2, just one mask then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop that one down to a 7 because I think it got too distressed, and it just started to look a little too Leatherfacey for me.
Yeah.
You know, when I look at him wearing that mask in part 2, I start to think of R.A. Mihailoff in Leatherface part 3.
Yeah.
You know, it's patchy and like piece. You know, you can see a lot of his face.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm going to give that a 7, even though it's the same sculpture. I'm assuming. Well, maybe he probably retooled it. I don't know, but for the most part, I think it's the same mask.
Yeah, it gets the point across. It's funny because I think my favorite Rob mask is specifically the dream sequence at the beginning of part 2. I just feel like that's like a super scary Michael, and especially with the rain. Like I just think it looks fantastic. So
well, that one. That one's there's not much difference on that one.
No, there's like the gunshot hole I think, and then some blood from the part 1. But that's I think the only difference, honestly.
That was the best part of that movie, the dream sequence. And once they pulled the fucking "it's a dream" bullshit, that's when I checked out. I was like, okay. Because I was like, this movie's brutal, it's kicking right in. It's like, what? That was a dream?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, super tacky. Yeah, super disappointing.
Yeah, that was a cop-out.
Yeah. And now we're getting into the good stuff. This is what I'm really curious about because I know you're somewhat heavily involved with kills. I see you posting stuff or not the newer stuff. The David Gordon Green, I guess, trilogy will be 2018 and Kills and Ends. So I think obviously you have a podcast with the artist and
no conflict of interest.
Yeah. We got to try not to be biased based on all of that stuff, but in all actuality, I think that they have nailed the look of Myers for this stuff. And James Jude Courtney is a saint. I think that we have found our definitive Michael Myers. So I have nothing but good things to say, and I'm curious to see what you have to say. So we'll go 2018 now.
2018, okay. So for the 2018 mask, I'm giving that one an 8. I really like it. I kind of feel the same way I feel about the Rob Zombie one. It's got a very similar look of the distressing and everything. I do think it looks more. I'm going to change that to 8.5. I'm going to edge it a little bit because it does look more like an H. Shatner versus like Rob's. Yeah, I'm going 8.5 on that. And then for Kills, the old version, which would be more distressed, gunshot hole, this and whatever. It's not really. There's not a huge difference there, except for obviously the burn stuff. So for me, it doesn't really change much. I'm still probably going to stay 8.5 because it's pretty much the same mask, just a little distressed. It wasn't like the Rob Zombie one where you start seeing a bunch of his face and it kind of takes away from the look of the mask. So I'm going to go 8.5 on that. But the one I will say, the flashback mask, I'm going to go 9 on that. I think fucking Chris nailed it.
Oh yeah.
I've seen them in person. I've held them, looked at them.
Yeah.
When you see them in natural light, you can kind of go, little off here and there, but at the same time, he didn't sculpt that mask to try to look like a Shatner. He sculpted it to try to, look a certain way under light, And when that thing gets in the right lighting, man, I mean, I was on set during the first night of flashback filming when Aaron Armstrong as Myers is doing the scene in the alleyway. Dude, the chills I got just like watching. I was like, holy shit! I feel like I'm sitting on set of the original movie. I mean, it was crazy. It was just such a cool vibe.
I like that you brought that up about him sculpting it specifically for the lighting and stuff because a couple days before the movie was coming out, they were releasing like these behind the scenes stuff where they showed it kind of like a panning shot of him standing outside of the soundstage, and I thought, man, that doesn't look that good. And then in theaters, as soon as he rushes the police officer and he's kind of got him and you can see him poking out, it is the most intimidating 78 that I've ever seen. It is like freaky. So
yeah, no, I agree, and you know, it is a head scratcher as to why, you know, with people like Justin making masks like the Creep and stuff like that all these years, why one of these fuckers just didn't say, hey, we're gonna take one of these and put it in the movie.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know why, but it is what it is, and you know, it took us this long to finally get it right.
Yeah.
You know, it's I'm glad for Chris. You know, I mean, the bottom line is there's people that hate it too, and you're never going to make everyone happy. I mean, you could literally take the original mask, put it on screen, and there'd be guys going, "Dude, that don't look right."
Yeah, it looks like shit.
Like, no, it's the original mask. Oh, no, yeah, okay, bro. They got it wrong.
Right.
Like, people just want a bitch. You're going to get people, you know. But everybody has their own opinions, and they're entitled to it, and it's all good. You know, I'm not gonna fault them. You know, people are gonna disagree with what I just said here, and that's fine too. You know, I mean, that's just my personal preference. I'm just one nerd with an opinion.
Yep.
You know?
But you get one up on everybody because you own some of this stuff, and that gives you extra points a little bit, even if you don't want to say so. I think that it does.
Well, how odd is it though that the ones I own are some of the ones I rank the
least
lowest?
favorites. Yeah, I was kind of curious how that was going to work too, because I know that we were going to have our thoughts on the bad ones or whatever, and I was like, well, I think you own some of those, so.
Well, you know, I'm realistic, man. I mean, it's obviously the ones that are less desirable might be easier to get. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. The collecting world has gotten so out of control. I mean, I don't know if you just saw that auction the other day where the Resurrection mask went for like, it went for like 50,000 pounds, which converted and after buyer's premium and all that shit, that's an $80,000 purchase.
Insanity. I don't know how much. I don't know how much you paid for your Kirk, but I have a friend, and he might have been the last person to buy one in the hobby, and he made me guesstimate. He wouldn't tell me the exact price, but I'm thinking it's around $27,000 for a 75. And I'm like, hey, if you got it, go for it.
Well, what was I going to say? Oh, so that Resurrection mask, 80 grand, roughly, after all said and done. And I'm not even 100% sure it's legit. I mean, just because an auction house says it's the real thing, they've been wrong a lot of times, and they've sold fakes. Not that they purposely have, but, they've been fooled. And I know for a fact Cinema Secrets made 15 production masks, only five of which were used on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I personally own 4 of the production masks. I sold 3 of them, and I own 1. That mask could have been any of those. They all looked exactly the same. They're all from the same mold. They're all painted the same. How do we know that unless we can trace it back to who owned it, there's no way of knowing. And I'm not trying to bum out the person that just bought it. I don't know who bought it. But if I was the person who just bought it, I would be doing everything in my power to find out where it came from.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of money to not know for sure, you know?
Yeah, could have literally been a nicely rehauled Cinema Secrets that you could have bought.
Yeah, well, I mean, the difference is the production masks do not have stamps like the ones they sold in store. The ones sold in store said Cinema Secrets in the latex.
Yeah.
The ones they made for the movie didn't have those stamps.
Gotcha.
So it was a different mold than the ones fans could buy.
Mm-hmm.
And probably slightly bigger too. But other than that, I mean, shit, we recasted that mask years ago. Somebody could have taken one of ours and rehauled it, and I'm not, again, looking at the picture, it looked legit. In the one photo I saw online, I just don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
Is it the one Busta Rhymes wore? Is it one of the ones they said it was a Brad Loree? I don't know how many Brad wore during production, you know.
Right. And even if $80,000 for a mask from Resurrection, that's something.
Yeah.
That's something for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that just makes you wonder what would happen if, like, when Chris sold one of these, or you know, if Chris or whoever got copies. I know Nick Castle got one, and James Jude Courtney got one.
Yeah.
What happens if those guys decide to sell one day? What the fuck are those going to go
Dude,
for?
I could not imagine.
I know. And then, like, this flashback mask, everybody's going crazy wanting one of those.
Alright guys, what is up? AJ from the future here. I am currently editing the video that you are watching, and this is your warning that I am not editing any more of this video. So what you see is all going to be raw. Obviously, there are some drastic, dramatic audio issues with this video that I just am not able to fix. I've been working on this video for 4 days now, so I have fixed it to my utmost ability. I cannot fix it anymore, and it still sounds like shit. Obviously, there's a crazy echo for whatever reason. I know that I did not have my computer speakers up enough for there to be this much of an echo, so I really don't know why that is. I also have no idea why there's an influx and decrease of both mine and Sean's audio throughout this video, but there is, and I apologize for that. I really don't know anybody that has as bad of issues or bad luck with audio like I do. I specifically bought another webcam to shoot videos like this through Zoom and whatnot. So I bought a nice new webcam. Doesn't seem to make a difference. I don't know what the deal is with the audio, and yeah, I apologize for that, but I fixed it as much as I possibly can, and it still kind of sucks ass. So it is what it is, but the rest of the video is just me and Sean kind of geeking out and talking with each other about just about everything under the sun. So if you're watching, this is your warning that I am not fixing any more audio on this video, and it is what it is. So yeah, thank you guys for watching so far, if you've made it this far, and maybe I'll just have to replace my entire computer setup, because I don't understand what the deal is with the audio. I've shot videos with Stay Metal Ray, and they have just not turned out. I've shot videos with Danhausen, and they have not turned out, and now I've shot this, and it just didn't turn out good, and I've tried something new every single time, whether it be a new webcam with a new microphone. I actually purchased a screen recording program for this video, specifically for this video, to see if that was the issue. So I literally paid for a screen recording program that still just doesn't work the way that I need it to work. So I really don't understand it, and I do apologize. But yeah, just wanted to throw that in there, and if you've made it this far, you're a lot more patient than I am, I guess. So yeah, alright, back to the video.
And from what I hear, it's not going to be available commercially.
So I should probably message Chris and say, you're going to make me this mask, right? He loves that.
He loves that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody watching this to send Christopher Nelson a direct message and ask him to A, rehaul your mask, or just make you one, you know.
Don't even ask.
And,
you tell him.
Yeah, no, don't ask.
Yeah, you're going to make me this.
Yeah, you're going to make me one. He loves that.
Perfect. All right, well, one last question out of genuine curiosity, and then I'll let you go. If you had to pick a mask, screen-used, Michael Myers mask, and I already know that's going to be the 78, because why would you pick that? That wasn't the 78. What would it be to add to your collection?
Obviously, that means not part 2 as well.
Yeah,
so.
Because that's the clear answer for literally anybody.
If I could have any screen-used one, I think that's a good one. It's a good question. I think I would probably take a Rob Zombie 2007.
Really?
Yeah, the distressed one, like the one Tyler wore.
I feel like that's obtainable. I feel like you could get that.
Oh, I probably could.
Yeah.
And I may have actually been offered one not too long ago. But it's, you know, I really like that mask. And I know what you're saying. Well, hey, you ranked the Kills masks higher. Okay, you know what? I take that back. I'll go flashback from Kills.
Okay.
I'll go with that. But that one aside, I would have went with Rob Zombie. And the reason I passed on the Kills distressed versions is because Chris already gave me one from each mold that he personally made. So I have, as close as you can get.
A production copy, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, it is, but it isn't. It wasn't made, it was made by the guy with he did all the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's, and he had the same girl that does his hair do the hair on him too. So, it's, and they're from the actual molds, he didn't go get a Trick or Treat Studios and remodel it for me. That's a big advantage I have, being, buddies with him. I mean, and I'm just very fortunate. I would never ask him to make me one. I'm not that guy. I hate asking for favors, like, dude, hook it up, It was just cool that he, surprised me both times, and now I'm waiting for a little flashback surprise.
Wink, wink. I would never ask him, but...
No, I would never ask.
That's awesome. Yeah. You answered way better than I could, because I'm, like, as I asked you that, I was like, I don't even know what I would pick. Either part 4, for nostalgia's sake, because that was the first Halloween I ever saw. It's, like, special between me and my grandpa. But then it's like, man, James Jude Courtney is the man. And, like, a 2018 or Kills would be awesome. Kills was my most anticipated Halloween movie of all time. I was, like, the most excited for that out of any of them. And, I think it was.
Since I talked about it, do you want to see them?
I absolutely would love to see them.
Let me grab them.
All right.
I haven't had a chance to put these in the case yet. I'm waiting to I need to get some stands for them. And I'm rearranging some things. I just sold a piece the other day. So you're getting an exclusive here, because I've never shown these, even on our show.
Yeah, I had no idea you had them.
So this is my 2018.
So good.
I'm trying to get better light here so you can see it.
Yeah, there is just something that rehaulers, like, I have some really nice, very expensive rehauls, and they still just can't capture whatever that is.
So there's that one. And then here's the Kills.
How gnarly is that? Beautiful.
He didn't skimp.
No, that's amazing. I'm dying of envy over here.
It's funny, as I just had a fan message me and say, what a big fan he was of my work and this and that. He so badly wants to send me a Halloween Kills rehaul. And I said, bro, I super appreciate it, but I told him, I said, Chris Nelson himself made me one. I said, it don't get any better than that. I thank you so much, but keep it, give it to somebody else who would appreciate it more. Because it'll play second fiddle to that guy. So
the ultimate flex. He's got to understand though. So I mean,
like the guy from Seven Sin Studios who does rehauls, he's become a bit of a friend, and he made me a 2018, and it's beautiful. I mean, he did a great job, and he's gotten a lot better since then too. He gave it to me like not long after the movie came out, and I still have that one, and I've worn it and stuff. And funny story, I even lent it to Scotty in from Anthrax for Halloween, not this past Halloween, but the year before.
Yeah.
And he borrowed it and then sent it back to me. And so now it's kind of like, well, I can't get rid of the mask. Scott Ian
wore this.
It's like, this is Scott Ian Warren, and he even posted pictures on his social media of him wearing it. So it's like,
very cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of a cool little connection there. And then when Trick or Treat Studios first put them out, I don't know if you know about this, they did some, they called it the Closet Edition.
Yeah, I almost bought one at Mass Fest in 2018.
Yeah, that's where Chris gave me one. Chris Zephyro. So I have one of those too.
Yeah, they had like the latex hair and stuff.
No, it didn't have latex hair.
They like no, not like molded hair. They like latexed the hair down for the closet scene look. I guess there was something weird about those copies. They were going to like Universal, maybe.
I have it. I'll go grab it.
All right.
It's handy. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's better than the store-bought versions as far as the paint job, right? But the hair was, it's a little, I guess, tighter, maybe more. I don't know, but whatever they put, like, what did they put on here? Something about closet edition or something. Closet scene prototype 1 of 100. I don't know. I just was like, well, it's the fact that they did that, whether this is any different than the store bought, just made it worth more money. So boom.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll keep it.
Plus, those were out way before you could get them in stores. Because I remember almost spending like $350 on one at MaskFest from someone that had already bought it at MaskFest and then was reselling it at the booth because I just wanted one first. But I didn't end up doing that, so whatever.
I didn't even realize that. So they sold out quick before you finished.
Yeah, they were gone there real fast.
Oh. Well, yeah, I got lucky on that. I mean, I've known Zephyro for over 20 years, so we're buds, and you know, that was cool of him to give me that. And he gave me a Kills mask when I did that Trick or Treat Studios tour.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't put it on film, I don't think, because at the time the movie hadn't officially released the mask yet, and he was a little nervous about that being on camera.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you know, don't. I go, bro, you know, I'm clearly not going to do anything.
Yeah.
You know, I've signed NDAs and I'm attached to this project too, so I would be in big trouble if I did something like that. Like, put information out there. So.
Oh yeah, that's a scary thing because you don't want to be that guy either. Anyways, I mean, regardless of whatever it is.
Yeah, well, I always find it hilarious how they're all up your ass. To you can't do anything, you can't say anything, you can't do anything, and then they all do it.
Yeah.
Like the studio people all do it, and then you're like, well, hey, you posted pictures of that. Can I post this? Like, no. I think one of the dumbest things was we did a signing the weekend before the movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
The weekend before the movie came out, we did a signing at the Sugarman Gallery right behind the Real Myers house in South Pasadena. Now, at that point, this is a week before the movie came out. There are photos everywhere of the Kills mask. There's trailers. There's one sheets with the fucking face on it. I said to Chris, "Oh, you should bring a Kills mask, a screen use to display."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I should probably ask if it's okay." And I'm like,
what the fuck?
Why? And he's on, and I, okay, he asked. They said no.
Of course they do.
Why?
I don't.
What mystery are you? I mean,
Yeah.
it's all over the web.
Yeah, you get no clout from this, even though you made it, and this comes out in a couple days, and everyone's seen it.
And you're signing photos of the mask.
Of the mask, yeah.
At a show.
So dumb. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just Hollywood, though. It's just one of those Hollywood things that it's so part of this industry that's just like one things I hate about the business. I mean, I can go. I have a bunch of get off my lawns when it comes to the business.
Oh yeah. Oh, I believe it, man. No doubt. All right. Well,
common sense is a
not
thing
common.
that they don't understand.
Yeah.
So.
Which is weird because it's like, how are you so successful with business when your brain doesn't work good?
I don't know, man. I mean, look at what they've done with the Halloween franchise all these years. The bad decisions that were made. Especially, I'm talking mainly from like 4, 5, 6, and Resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that hard to get right. And, you know, who's making these decisions of changing the mask every movie? who made the decision of, oh, nobody will pay attention to what the Myers house looks like?
Yeah.
Just say that was the Myers house. But it looks like the Munsters house. Nah, that nobody will notice.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's another video right there. Top 10 mistakes in the Halloween franchise.
oh my God, there's so many. I mean, you can sit here all night, and you can do that with kills also. I mean, there's so many, like, what the fuck, really? Things that happen in Halloween Kills.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's not that hard to get this right. But I can tell you what happens, because I've seen it happen. I've been there, and I've watched it happen on multiple productions.
Yeah.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody needs to feel like they're putting in their 2 cents.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they feel like, oh, if I don't say something or give my input, I could get fired. It'll look like I'm not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So all these people start going, you know what, well, maybe Michael should do this. It's like, have you ever seen a Halloween film? No, but I think it would be cool if Michael did this.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, why are you giving me your opinion? What, who are they? And when it comes down to it, you got all these different people fighting for, like, trying to get in there a little bit, and it just dilutes the subject. It just, I made one movie, right? And I watched it happen on a daily basis on the movie I worked on. And there was this one producer that just had to feel like he was putting in his input constantly. And it was always wrong. And it was just this constant fight of like, dude, why? Just shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously, you are everything that's coming out of your mouth is bad. But then you have all these people that work under him that are like, no, that's a pretty good idea, Sean. I think you should take that into consideration. You're just like, and it just ruins things. It just ruins things, and that's what happens with a lot of these films. Is especially back, I think, when we were doing 4, 5, and 6, is they didn't have respect for the horror fans. They didn't have the respect that it was like, they don't care. Guy in a white mask, they don't care. That's their attitude.
Yeah.
They've wised up to that now.
Right.
They see it's big business now. Mm-hmm. Look at all the merchandise. They now realize, oh shit, we need to pay a little more attention to this.
Yeah.
And these fans care about these things. Back then, guy in a mask, jumpsuit, with a knife, go. They didn't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it honestly, even with the flaws of Kills or even 2018, it still shows how much having a team of people that care about this stuff works and benefit. Like, Christopher Nelson has a Halloween sleeve, if I'm not mistaken. So clearly he likes Michael Myers, and we finally have a Myers that looks good. And David Gordon Green is obviously a fan of the franchise. We have movies that are good movies.
Yeah.
Despite flaws, I think that's a good thing to point out. So.
Yeah, I mean, but unfortunately, it's good to have guys like that. They're fighting for the end result. But it's crazy how easily something can be just, it could be just someone like Jamie Lee Curtis saying, I think that person should do this because that is what is popular today and blah, blah, blah. And everybody's going to go,
it's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie's got it, because, they all suck up to her. And I'm not saying that happens. I'm just giving an example of how easily that can happen.
Right.
Where somebody like her, with her kind of power, can make a suggestion, and it don't matter if it's a bad suggestion. They're gonna practically hand her an award for making the suggestion. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of shit that happens in this business that gives us a lot of times, watered down crap. Fortunately, I think Jamie is, she's definitely into, her issues with, like society and social justice and these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when it comes to the franchise, I think she does know, she has a good opinion on, where it should go. One thing I will say that they haven't done, that Halloween, I give Halloween the franchise credit for. Maybe that comes from the Akkads, from Mustafa to Malik, is they never let the character get silly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've added comedy into elements, but you never saw Myers be involved in any comedy.
Yeah.
Where like Jason got silly, Freddy's doing fucking one-liners on a broomstick. You know, I mean, once you do that, that character's not scary anymore. And there's no going back from it.
Right.
They've tried to make Jason scary again. I'm sorry. He's not. Freddy will never be scary again.
Nope. Totally agree.
Had they stuck with the way he was in part one, that character could still be scary. But they just, you know, when you get to rapping Freddy and he's like,
Yeah.
you know, you're done. You're done, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I give them credit for at least keeping the character serious.
Mm-hmm.
All the way through, you know.
Yeah, I heard that was kind of a big deal. Now, obviously, this could just be a rumor, but with 2018 and Kills, is like they knew that they were going to be incorporating comedy, but you were never, ever allowed to cross the line with like even just making fun of Michael Myers. In terms of like, there would be no funny scenes in a sense involving Myers as a character, which is great. That the comedy stuff doesn't ruin me. There's a lot of people that get upset about that, but I think used in the right context, I mean, Myers isn't doing something and then something funny happens with him right there. Like, I haven't seen that yet. There's no trick or treat motherfucker or anything of the sort, so.
Chicken fried motherfucker.
Fried motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, see that stuff, that's where it gets silly, but I mean, at least that's a different character saying the line, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, but, yeah, I mean, it got close there on Resurrection with that bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we've never seen Michael do something silly. I mean, they've done with Jason, you know, they make him like he'll kill somebody and like hold up the arm and be like, oh, you know, and it's like, that's funny,
Yeah.
you know, Jason, you know, banging the girls against the you know, the tree in the sleeping bag and stuff, and they even make that funny when it's a brutal scene, you know. But they made it funny later in like the Jason X stuff. And
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Man, we got way off topic there, huh?
Sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Say goodbye and I went off on a tangent.
No, I'm good with it. I didn't want to take too much of your time, but I could fucking talk all night, so. Yeah. No, very cool. Glad to hear the list, and I'm glad to see those masks and everything after, so. If you have anything that you want to plug before we go, stuff coming up or whatever you want to do.
Well, right now I'm just getting a little break from the convention thing. Been on the road nonstop since June, and things finally start slowing down right now. And I don't think I have to personally go to a show as of right now until like February. So I am stoked. That means I'm going to be home. I'll be working, but now I can get to editing. I have like 10 episodes of Horse Hall Grounds filmed that I'm trying to edit right now, oddly enough.
That's my favorite shit, so I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've got like 10 episodes shot, and I'm in the process of finishing Rob Zombie's Halloween right now. That'll be the next one up.
Sweet.
And then, you know, trying to, when Chris and I have time to do the thing with two heads, trying to do more of those. I want to get back into doing some collection videos because people have been up my ass to get back on that because I haven't done one in a fucking long time. So I'm going to get on those and try to finish through the posters too. People want me to, because I got up to a certain letter in the alphabet and I just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
But that all happened because of conventions. Once conventions started happening again and I was on the road, I'd have no time. My schedule's crazy. People don't understand what kind of schedule I have when I'm working conventions. It's literally leave Thursday morning to a convention that starts Friday, do the convention Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come home Monday, so get home by like Monday evening, and then Tuesday, Wednesday is like repacking and doing your laundry and getting everybody's stuff ready for the next show and do it all over again. I'm home like 2 days a week. So it's it's like being in a band and being on tour, you know, you're on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so now I got a little downtime. I want to get back into it and start really focusing on the videos and the collection stuff, and that's why I've been rearranging sort of my prop toy room or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
I want to get all that kind of sorted out, start to do some more videos, and just kind of get back into it and get ready for Christmas and all that crap.
Yeah.
You know,
I think in the future we need a Sean Clark visits the House of Masks episode of some sort.
Where are you?
I'm about 45 minutes south of Columbus.
Of Columbus. So
Yeah.
how close are you to like Horror Hound Cincinnati, the sheriff?
It's like an hour and a half on the dot.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, we typically make it down there for it. So.
Okay. Maybe I can do that. One of the times I come out there.
It'd be cool.
How close are you to like Monroeville, Pennsylvania? Is that far?
I don't know where Monroeville is, but you can be in Pennsylvania in like an hour.
Okay. Because I'm like Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Pittsburgh is 3 hours on the dot.
Okay, so that's a lot further. So Horror Hound's probably. Yeah, I'd love to come see your stuff, man. I mean, you look like you have an insane collection. So tell me, did you now open this as a business?
No, so essentially, like the House of Masks, it started in an apartment, so it wasn't the House of Masks. Outgrew that. Yeah, outgrew that really quick.
Yeah.
Then was in a house for a couple years, outgrew that really quick, and this space that I had always just kind of been like in love with downtown opened up, and I bothered the guy into renting it to me because what I was doing had become a business, like the YouTube stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to get it, and it was just supposed to be a studio to film and edit and a place to house all my stuff. And people, even in town, were super, super curious about it, and I never thought that would be the case, so we did an open house, and the turnout was like above and beyond anything that I could have imagined. And that's another thing that made me think of you, was just like these conventions, because that was the first time I ever done something like that, and I'm guessing maybe 1,200 people showed up.
Wow.
But that is like insane to me. I've only ever boothed at conventions, so we've done Mask Fest and stuff, and obviously I see the turnout there, but doing it all on your own is something else. So it was rad. I think we're going to shoot for something even bigger next year as an open house, but to answer your question, it's private for the rest of the year.
No, that's awesome. Do you actually live there?
Yes and no. It's definitely livable, but I still have a house.
Yeah. Okay.
I just love being here. Like, I love my stuff, so.
Yeah, no. Believe me, I live in a 4-bedroom, 2-story house with a giant entertainment room addition I had done, and it's just me and my girlfriend. And
yeah.
I'm running out of space. I'm literally having a 10-by-6 storage shed built in my backyard right now just to get stuff out of my garage to put in there.
Yeah.
Because I need space. I'm running out of space.
Yeah. I still just have totes stacked. Like, the horror section is nowhere near what it should be. I have my Meyer stuff up and some Silent Hill stuff up because I really like the first couple games, but I have no TCM stuff up. Freddy, Chucky, Jason, like, I have none of that displayed.
Do you own any screen use stuff?
No, I don't. The closest thing that I have to screen used is I'm bigger into theatrical bands and music than I am horror, and not to say that I
have a lot of stage.
Yeah, yeah. So like I have my Guar collection is like my crowning jewel. I have a lot of stage use Guar stuff. I have like a backup Slipknot mask and whatever else, but I would kill to have some screen use shit because that's the holy grail stuff.
So you don't have a lot of stage use Slipknot stuff? I assumed you probably had a lot.
No, it's really hard to get, and I would say that most of the band probably doesn't like me too much because it's fucking weird, but hear me out. Rock stars don't like. No, you're good. They don't like they don't like to hear opinions that they don't want to hear. And that's just what has happened, and it's really weird because I think that they honestly think that I like dislike them or something, even though I have $100,000 worth of their stuff in here, but
you literally have a Slipknot shrine.
yeah,
I assume. We don't really know each other that great. I assumed you knew them. You were friends with them.
No, I would love to be, and maybe if I had just been nicer, I guess, with my delivery, maybe. I don't know. I've really never said anything that I would find offensive myself if someone was saying that about me, but maybe they're more prideful. Jay Weinberg, the current drummer, is really fucking nice to me. And he's still really nice. I shot a video with Corey years ago that was like Corey's doing. He made that happen, and that was really nice. But the rest of the guys, like, I've been blocked by like 2 of the dudes that I didn't even follow. Didn't even follow these guys, and they must have seen a video where I said something funny or whatever, and they blocked me on Instagram, which is really weird.
You know what? Just, be yourself, be honest. I mean, that's the way I am. I know I piss off a lot of people too by being honest, and it's nothing. I'm not trying to tear anybody down, but I'm not going to sugarcoat my opinion.
Yeah.
That's one thing I think that has made Chris and my podcast, I guess, popular, would be the fact that we both seem to be pretty honest about our opinions about things, and it's shocking, more shocking coming from him, a guy who really, really legit works in the business and could be losing gigs by talking shit about maybe a director that he thought his movie sucked or something. But and it's again, not trying to rip on anybody, but if somebody says, I mean, a perfect example is you watch me talk about Halloween Kills.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tight with all these people, and I didn't give it a rave review. I mean, I pointed out a lot of things I thought were wrong with it, but it doesn't mean I didn't like the movie. I had fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
It just has a lot of issues and could have been a lot better. But whatever. Who cares, man? I will say, in the business I'm in, especially being, working with these guys in regards to booking them for conventions and stuff like that, personal appearance, manager, agent, whatever, it is very discouraging to have somebody that you idolized or look up to be a dick or do something like you're pointing out has been done to you. I mean, it kind of puts it makes listening to their music or watching their movies, it kind of puts a little sore spot there, and it's a bummer, and unfortunately, I can kind of relate in a way. I mean, I was supposed to represent Corey Taylor for conventions, and we met in person, had a handshake, everything was great, and then the pandemic happened, and then suddenly I hear someone else is booking him, and I'm just like, well, what? What's going on?
Yeah.
And it was like the carpet was pulled out from under me, and I contacted him, and he said, well, I didn't hear from you, and I'm like, there was a pandemic. That's, COVID.
Yeah.
There were no conventions, so... Yeah, but it is what it is, and it's just a bummer because I was a big fan, and I still am, of the band. But now there's always that little sore spot of like it kind of taints it a little bit for me now,
Yeah, if I could sit down with them too, the ironic thing that I would explain is that I am not afraid and ashamed of having my opinion and speaking it, even if it's on their music or decisions that they make that I may find corny or why the fuck did you do this or whatever. I feel that way because of their music. Like, I grew up from at 6 years old in 99. This band was punching their way through the industry, not caring about what other people thought and fuck this and fuck that. And like, that's where that attitude came from, man. Like, you're responsible for this thing that you apparently don't like now. So it's a tricky situation, but honestly, like, just like I explained to you, I would love to sit down with them and be like, hey, this is what it is. Like, obviously no hard feelings. I have a fucking museum of your shit. Like, my life literally would not be the same without them, and not in a cringy cliche way, but like, I literally have a YouTube channel that I make a living talking about these masks from this band that I love. that wouldn't exist if it weren't for them. So there's no, like, I don't fucking have any, like, weird bitterness or anything like that. I just don't have to agree with everything you do just because I'm a fan.
Well, unfortunately, and especially with rock stars, I've come to find that they are constantly having their asses kissed so much that if you disagree with them slightly, boy,
yeah,
that's a bad move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, they're not all like that. I mean, some of them, you know, I'm friends with a lot of big rock stars. That I don't just work with, I'm friends with, because I used to be in a band. I used to play with a lot of these guys. I'm personal friends with a lot of these guys. A lot of them are super cool, but man, some of them, the egos are out of control, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can tell you off record some that, you know, just like unbelievable, like probably hate my guts because I gave my opinion once, and it's just like, you're dead to me kind of attitude, you know.
It's funny too because a lot of people will be like, why didn't you react to this new mask that they just debuted, or why didn't you react to this single that they just dropped? And I've just found that if I'm not going to be saying nice shit the whole time, it's better for me to just not fucking talk about it, and I'm missing out on views and subscribers and whatever else, but that's one less Slipknot member that's going to block me that week, or whatever it is, so whatever, I'll just shut up. Here, look at this mask I'm unboxing today, this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was a big fan, but honestly, the last couple records haven't done it for me, personally.
Yeah.
I think probably All Hope Is Gone is the last record I really, really liked. And I love Jay Weinberg. I think he's a fucking phenomenal drummer and a super nice guy. But something about Joey not being in that band, it changed the sound.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just don't think. I almost feel like some of their current stuff sounds like they're trying to recreate the old stuff. Like the new single to me sounds like, let's try to do something like that. Play that song, let's hear that. Let's do something like that. You know, instead of being creative and original. It's, you know, it's not bad. I think the new single is decent, but I listened to it once and I was kind of okay.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like I want to hear that again.
Right.
You know, and that bums me out because some of their songs, man, fuck, I love some. I mean, I'll listen to some of those songs 1,000 times. You know, and they're incredible musicians, and I dig the whole gimmick. I dig everything about it. You know.
Yep.
But you know, anyway, went off on a Slipknot tangent. By the way, I mean, I just heard. What's his kid's band called?
Vended.
Yeah, I just heard their new single, and that sounds like old Slipknot.
Slipknot, yeah. Oh, yeah, they're killing it.
It's insane how much he sounds like Corey.
Yeah, everything about that kid is Corey. His mannerisms and facial expressions and everything is Corey Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, they sound really good. I mean, I haven't heard the whole record. I only heard that one song, but I was like, shit.
Yeah, they're killing it, for sure.
Slipknot 2.0.
You
know?
Now I fully believe, like, Corey and Clown used to talk about how the band could go on for as long as they wanted it to. And I know how, because that is Corey Taylor reincarnated, so,
yeah. They could, you know, he could take over for him, for sure.
Yeah.
And I know Kiss has talked about that, like, they could, you know, we could continue on with different members. And I'm
yeah.
But you never know. I mean, I'm ready. They need to put that one to rest. I love Kiss, but
yeah,
I don't want to see a tribute band, you know. So
absolutely. All right, good.
I think so.
This was fun, man.
Yeah, I had a blast. Thanks for asking me to do this. And,
I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, and it was cool to get a chance to talk to you a little bit.
Yeah. I was going to say, I've admired from afar for a long time, so it's good to finally meet. If that makes sense, but.
Well, I've admired your collection from social media from afar.
Thank you.
So, you know, it's definitely I respect other collectors and their drive and passion, and you clearly have a lot of it. I mean, that's no small feat you got in that other room there.
I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure.
And it's not people. People don't understand how hard it is to be able to have a collection like that and maintain it and just I mean, prop collecting is a sickness. I just spent way too much money in that last auction on an item, and I'm just like, when I think about it, I get sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
How much I just paid for something.
Absolutely.
But I know over time I'll be like, I'm stoked it's over here on my shelf or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Do you realize that cost them probably $10 to make?
Yeah.
And you just spent, boom, Like,
the good news is, aside from the joy that it'll bring you every time you walk past it, this stuff is an investment for sure.
I've always said I look at movie props like art. It is art, and it will go up in value. Usually it will. What I just paid for this particular piece, I question if I'll ever make a profit on it.
Yeah.
I overpaid for sure.
I'm excited to see what it is. Now you got me all curious.
I'll tell you what. I don't put this on the show. I don't.
Yeah, we'll wait till it's over.
Okay.
I want to do as minimal editing as possible.
Find out eventually when they see in my. But I don't. Even though it's my own fucking money and I worked my ass off for it, I feel guilty saying I spent X amount of money on something because people, they start, fucking look at the guy throwing his money around.
Must be nice. Oh, dude, I hear it all the time.
Must be nice, bro. Like I did that video of the Halloween pinball machine. Somebody actually put, must be nice to be rich. It's like,
okay.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I didn't need you to point it out. But no, it's like, it's not like somebody fucking handed it to me, dude.
No shit.
I grew up in a shitty neighborhood. I didn't come from money. I busted my ass, and I earned everything I have. I worked my ass off for. Nobody handed me shit. I've never borrowed money from my parents. I'm an only child. I've never borrowed money from my mother or my father. I'm kind of completely self-made. And I'm proud of that. And if I want to fucking blow a stupid amount of money on something stupid because it makes me feel good, fuck it,
Yeah, people cannot understand someone that has no vices because I get shit because I don't drink or smoke, I don't have kids, I don't like whatever. And they also hate the fact that my job isn't a real job. That's what fucking drives them nuts. They're like, oh yeah, some of us have to work tomorrow. And I'm like, motherfucker, you're complaining about me spending all this money on whatever I do or whatever, and then telling me I don't have a real job? Like, what? My dad borrowed money from me today. So I get it. Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that about the real job. It's like, people don't know how much work I do.
Right.
What I do, if I had somebody that followed me around on a daily basis to show what it is that I do just to have these people at these conventions, all the shit that goes into getting them there and all the stuff that goes along with it, they'd be like, oh wow, that actually looks like a lot of work.
Yeah.
No, but they're just like, you're just running around celebrities acting like a big
yeah.
It's like, it's not. It's a fucking job, man.
Yeah. I tell them if they think it's so easy, then why the fuck aren't you doing it?
Yeah.
If it is that simple, then why aren't you doing it?
Yeah, that shit's frustrating, but whatever. I mean, people are always gonna bitch. It's just like I was saying earlier. Give people a reason to bitch, they'll bitch. They'll complain about it. They'll complain. Somebody will be like, these two fucking jackasses talking about all their cool shit.
Yeah.
Must be nice,
It is.
They got real jobs.
It is nice. It's great. I love it.
No, I mean, hey, it's funny is I just like everything in life, you get sick of certain things, like everybody's like, dude, conventions every weekend with celebrity, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, do it for 10 years straight.
Right.
And it becomes a job. But when I step back and I think about the real jobs that I had before that and what it was like to get up at 7 in the morning every morning, fucking put on a suit and tie and go to an office building and sit in a cubicle, I start to realize how fucking good I got it. And I'm like, I'm happy. But when people start telling me, you got the dream job, bro, fucking living the dream, you know, and it's like, to an extent, yes. Yeah, I can. There is times where I pinch myself and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm here. I'm at the Halloween Kills premiere. I'm riding in the limo with Michael Myers himself.
Yeah.
This is pretty crazy. But there's also all the other piddly little shit that it's not so great, you know? I mean, but at the end of the day, is it all worth it? Yeah, you know, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
But anyway, that's our real struggle. You've heard it
There you
firsthand how bad we've got it.
Yeah. First world problems, man.
Dude, man, I got so much shit. I'm out of room, bro. It sucks.
I have to get like a second building now.
Dude, I need another room for all my movie props. It's a real problem, you know. I mean, it's like cry me a river.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm glad they're taking dislikes away because this one's gonna have some.
They're taking dislikes away.
Oh yeah, YouTube's removing the visibility of them, so you can still leave them, but only the creator can see them.
Really?
Yeah. Fucking weird.
Oh, since when?
I think they're doing like the beta version of it right now and like phasing it out.
Huh. You know what? It's funny is I don't get very many dislikes to my shock and surprise, and I don't get that many negative comments either, really, which surprises me. Just because there's so many assholes out there that are just haters that you figure, you know, I'd get more. But I got a real weird one today. I usually leave them up because I think they're funny.
Yeah.
But some guy just started commenting on this one video, and he kept commenting like seemed like every 15 minutes he just pushed it a little further, and I was like, okay, enough of this crap.
Yeah.
And it started off with like, it was really bizarre. It was something like he seems like a really cool white dude to hang out with.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it went to, I can't afford a pinball machine, but I'd like to get some paintings of white dudes. And then it went to like, it started getting a little sexual, and I'm like, okay, enough of that.
White man fetish, that's a new one. I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
The picture of the dude in the, I don't know if it's really him or if it was just some fake account.
Yeah.
But it looked like a Latino guy. And I'm like, okay. All right.
Fucking
Hey,
weird.
look, I just got a text from the Shape himself. It was like he knew we were talking about him.
He's next up on my list. I have to email his whoever does his scheduling.
James Jude Courtney.
Yep. Yeah,
He did a good word for you.
Oh, sweet. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Her name is, what's her name?
Sarah, maybe?
He just got a publicist.
Yeah.
What's her name? You already got her contact information?
Yeah, he sent me the email. It's,
Okay, yeah.
I'm not going to say it out loud, obviously, but yeah, her name's Sarah.
Sarah. Hold on. Well, Sarah's his girlfriend. But his actual publicist, maybe Sarah's setting them up for him. I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Cool. Hey.
Well, hey man, have a great Sunday night, and it was cool talking to you. And let's keep in touch. I definitely would love to come check your shit out sometime. If you're ever out in Southern California, you're more than welcome to come by and check out my crap.
Hell yeah, I would love to.
You ever make it out here?
I've never been out that far yet, but I've started traveling more this year than I ever have, so I'm excited to get out into the world, kind of.
Well, get out here, and I'll show you what my nonsense looks like.
Yeah, I'll get over there and fucking drool all over those Myers masks. Decrease the value. All right, well, hey.
No drooling on the masks.
Right, they're in cases for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, hey, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, you asked me if I want to plug anything. Yeah, my channel, YouTube channel is Malfunction, MALFUNCSEAN, which is a stupid name that is really hard for people to find. In hindsight, thought it was clever, but now I'm like, why did you call it that?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's obviously a play on my name and a band I used to be in called Malfunction.
Mm-hmm.
It's so genius. It was kind of a joke. Our guitar player's name was Al, and he literally, to this day, goes by Malfunction. Everybody says, Malfunction, what's up?
Cool,
Even though
dude.
we haven't been a band for like 20 years, he's still Malfunction. So one day as a joke, I said, well, dude, I'm Malfunction. And then it never stuck.
Yeah.
But it was a nice little name that nobody else ever had on, if you went to a message board or, a Twitter account or whatever.
Yeah.
It was, that wasn't taken. It was pretty, but as far as visibility and trying to get people to come to your channel, you're best off typing in Horrors Holograms or the thing with two heads,
Yeah.
but something like that. But all my social media is Malfunction: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is my personal account went to its limit, so I have one of those stupid fan accounts. So it's /Sean Clark Official, not to be confused with all the other Sean Clark non-officials. So
yeah, I'll definitely link the channel down below because there's some neat shit on there that, like, the Horrors Holograms is just the most genius thing. Not to kiss your ass, I just really enjoy that series.
I appreciate it. I've been doing it technically since 90. Well, officially as an article in 2003 it started, but I started doing filming location videos back in 96. And I was making copies for people on VHS. So, it's just a hobby. It's just something that I enjoy, and I got a bunch of new episodes coming up. Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. I did both of them. The 86 Trick or Treat movie, the metal one.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I got coming? Lost Boys, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Friday 13th Part 3. I know there's a bunch I'm forgetting. Christine, I started filming. Phantasm, I started filming. Let me look at. I have to just look at my editing thing, and I'll know what I got in there that I'm working on. Let's see. Evil Dead 2, Blue Velvet. That's all I can find at the moment, but that's quite a few. That's quite a few coming. So
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Good shit coming.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, everybody, make sure to go.
American War from London. That's another one.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Originally I was going to call this ranking the Myers masks with Sean Clark. I think I'm going to call it Two Collectors Become Friends and Then Can't Get Off a Zoom Call. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Again, thank you. I hope you have a better evening, and we'll definitely stay in touch.
Okay, man. Take care.
See you, man.
All right. See you.